Have you ever felt lost in the noise of daily life and wondered how to regain peace of mind? Have you ever experienced that empty feeling after a few days without listening to the Dharma, and thought to yourself, why does my heart feel unsettled? Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today, we are diving into an incredibly important topic: why it's essential to persist in listening to the sutras, especially in this fast-paced, information-saturated age we live in. We'll explore two main points. First, why a single day without listening to the teachings of the Buddha can lead to confusion and negative karma, and second, how continuous practice of listening to sutras can help build unshakable faith and resilience in our Buddhist path, transforming our everyday lives into a spiritual practice. As we explore these insights, I'll also share practical tips for integrating sutra listening into your daily routine, no matter how busy or chaotic your life may seem. We'll uncover how the wisdom of the sutras can act as a guiding light, constantly illuminating our path toward greater peace, wisdom, and spiritual fulfillment. In today's world, it's easy to get overwhelmed by the constant stream of distractions. From the moment we wake up, we are bombarded with information, work demands, social media, and countless other stimuli that pull our attention in multiple directions. But in Buddhism, there's a crucial piece of advice that remains timeless. Listening to the Dharma is essential for maintaining clarity and wisdom in a chaotic world. The importance of listening to the sutras cannot be overstated. In fact, Buddhist masters throughout history have often said that when we stop listening to the Dharma, we gradually lose our connection to the core teachings. This isn't just about hearing words or reciting mantras, it's about digesting the wisdom in our hearts, allowing it to become an inseparable part of our daily lives. Consider this: when you listen to a sutra, whether it's the Amitabha Sutra or the Lotus Sutra, you're immersing yourself in the Buddha's teachings, which help illuminate your path. The voice of the Dharma becomes like a bridge, connecting you to the wisdom and compassion that reside deep within your own mind. Each recitation, each phrase, brings you closer to the understanding that all phenomena are impermanent, that suffering is a part of life, and that true peace can only be found by cultivating wisdom, ethical conduct, and meditation. But what happens if you stop listening? Even a short break from Dharma practice can create subtle ripples of confusion. Master Qigong, one of the great Buddhist teachers, once warned, if you skip a day of listening to the Dharma, your mind becomes like a ship without a rudder, lost in the vast ocean of distractions. Why does this happen? The answer lies in the very nature of the human mind. If left to its own devices, the mind tends to gravitate toward distractions. Without the steady influence of the Dharma, it's easy to slip back into habitual patterns of craving, anger, and ignorance. The wisdom of the sutras acts as a counterbalance to these tendencies, keeping our minds anchored in truth. Let's dive deeper into how continuous listening to sutras transforms our hearts and minds. First, we need to understand the role of faith and willpower in Buddhist practice. Faith is not simply blind belief, it is the trust in the Buddha's teachings and the understanding that they can lead us to liberation. However, faith alone is not enough. We need the constant reinforcement of the Dharma to keep our faith alive. Imagine this scenario: you wake up in the morning and begin your day with the peaceful recitation of the Amitabha Sutra. You're not just listening to it for the sake of ritual, you're allowing it to penetrate your mind and guide your actions throughout the day. You may face obstacles at work or family tensions, but as you reflect on the teachings of the sutra, you remember that everything is impermanent. You let go of your attachments and respond with compassion and equanimity. This is the power of continuous Dharma practice. As we listen to the sutras over time, they don't just remain in our memory, they gradually transform the way we perceive the world. They guide our thoughts, words, and actions, allowing us to align with the Buddha's wisdom in our daily interactions. With each passing day of consistent practice, the Buddha's teachings become more than just concepts. They become a living part of our being. Master Liu Suyun, a dedicated practitioner, spent over a decade listening to the Anattara Sutra repeatedly. For her, it wasn't about rushing toward results, it was about the long-term, sustained effort of hearing the teachings and letting them deeply settle into her heart. She didn't rush the process, nor did she expect immediate transformation. Instead, she patiently allowed the Dharma to wash over her, and over time, she witnessed a profound change in herself. The wisdom she gained through years of listening gave her the ability to face life's challenges with a calm, steady heart. But in modern society, it can seem impossible to find time to listen to the Dharma amidst all the responsibilities we carry. We might say, "I'm too busy," or "there's no time." However, the beauty of today's world is that technology offers us the opportunity to integrate Dharma into our daily lives in ways that previous generations could only dream of. With apps, audiobooks, and digital recordings of sutras, you can now listen to the Dharma during your commute, while cleaning, or even during short breaks at work. The key is consistency. Even a small amount of time dedicated to listening to the sutras each day can have a profound impact. When we make the decision to bring the Dharma into our daily routine, we create a habit that brings us back to mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom again and again. Whether it's 15 minutes in the morning or an hour during lunch, the practice of listening to the Dharma gradually cultivates an unwavering sense of calm, clarity, and focus. In addition to individual practice, group Dharma listening can also be incredibly powerful. Many temples and Dharma centers hold group listening sessions, where practitioners gather together to listen to sutras and share their experiences. This communal practice not only strengthens individual resolve, but also fosters a sense of unity and collective purpose. The collective energy generated during group practice creates a profound spiritual atmosphere that deepens everyone's connection to the teachings. I often think about how this practice of group listening can reflect the concept of Sangha, the community of practitioners. When we gather with others who are also committed to the path, the energy and collective wisdom that emerge from the group help sustain our own practice. Just as a small flame can ignite a larger fire, the Dharma that is shared among a group of people expands exponentially, enriching the lives of all who partake. To summarize, the act of listening to the sutras is not a passive exercise. It is an active, transformative practice that strengthens our faith, sharpens our wisdom, and cultivates compassion in our hearts. Through consistent listening, we align ourselves with the Buddha's teachings, enabling us to navigate the complexities of modern life with a clear mind and a compassionate heart. Continuing from where we left off, it is essential to delve deeper into the transformative power of listening to the sutras, especially in today's world, where our minds are constantly pulled in 1,000 different directions. The practice of sutra listening goes beyond mere ritual. It is a profound method of spiritual cultivation that connects us directly with the timeless wisdom of the Buddha. In the midst of daily struggles, distractions, and uncertainties, listening to the Buddha's teachings acts as a steady anchor, grounding us in clarity and truth. One of the most powerful aspects of sutra listening is its ability to clarify our understanding of the Dharma. The Buddha's teachings, transmitted through countless sutras, present an intricate and layered view of life and the path to liberation. Without regularly engaging with these teachings, we may find ourselves lost in superficial understanding or distracted by the delusions of the world. The sutras provide a rich, multi-dimensional perspective on the nature of suffering, the impermanence of all things, and the path to freedom from attachment. It's important to remember that Buddhism isn't just a philosophy, it's a way of life. The sutras are the foundational guideposts for this way of life. Through regular listening, we slowly develop a deeper, more profound understanding of these teachings, which in turn shapes our thoughts, speech, and actions. As we listen to the sutras, we begin to internalize the Buddha's wisdom in such a way that it informs how we react to everyday situations. This process of internalization is gradual but irreversible. Each time we listen, the teachings take deeper root in our hearts and minds. Take, for example, the well-known Heart Sutra, which condenses the essence of Buddhist wisdom into just a few lines. For many practitioners, the first time they encounter this sutra may leave them confused. The idea that form is emptiness and emptiness is form can feel abstract and difficult to grasp. But when we make a habit of listening to it regularly, whether through reading, chanting, or listening, we begin to experience a subtle shift in perception. We start to see how the forms of life we hold so dearly, our possessions, our relationships, even our bodies, are all temporary. And in that realization, we find a kind of peace. The stress and attachment that come with clinging to these forms slowly begin to loosen, replaced by the wisdom that comes from seeing things as they truly are. It's also crucial to recognize the role of wisdom in our practice. Wisdom in Buddhism doesn't come overnight. It's not something that we simply read about in books or hear in lectures. It's something that grows over time, as we gradually develop our understanding through sustained engagement with the Dharma. Listening to the sutras again and again is one of the most powerful ways to build this wisdom. Consider the metaphor of a seed being planted in the ground. When the seed is first placed in the earth, it seems small and insignificant. But as time passes, it begins to grow, its roots extending deeper into the soil, its leaves reaching toward the sky. Similarly, the wisdom from the sutras is like that seed. At first, it may seem abstract or difficult to understand, but with time, patience, and regular listening, the teachings take root in our hearts and minds, gradually transforming us. The more we listen, the more our understanding blossoms, and as our understanding grows, so too does our ability to apply that wisdom in our daily lives. For example, when we encounter difficulties or conflicts, the teachings of the sutras become an immediate source of guidance. Rather than reacting impulsively or with attachment, we learn to approach challenges with equanimity and compassion. The teachings remind us that suffering is inevitable, but so is the potential for liberation. The key lies in how we respond to our circumstances. By listening to the sutras, we continuously reinforce our ability to respond wisely, rather than react emotionally. Moreover, the practice of sutra listening can serve as a form of spiritual nourishment. Just as our bodies require food to sustain themselves, our minds and spirits need the nourishment of the Dharma to thrive. In today's world, where we are constantly inundated with negative news, stress and distractions, it's easy for our minds to become malnourished. We may find ourselves depleted, spiritually adrift, or disconnected from our true nature. Regularly listening to the sutras acts as a form of spiritual sustenance that renews and replenishes our inner resources. It revitalizes our connection to the Buddha's teachings, reawakening our compassion, wisdom, and mindfulness. Think about how the Buddhist practice of chanting can elevate a person's spirit. As you chant a sutra, your mind becomes more focused, your heart more open. Each word, each syllable, is a reminder of the Buddha's wisdom, and as you continue, you become attuned to the peaceful rhythm of the Dharma. In this way, the sutras provide spiritual food for the mind and soul, creating a foundation for emotional stability and peace. It's an act of self-care that benefits not just the practitioner but also those around them. In addition to personal growth, listening to the sutras also plays an important role in community building. When we listen to the Dharma, we don't just strengthen ourselves, we also strengthen the collective body of practitioners. In Buddhism, there is the concept of the Sangha, the community of those who walk the path of Dharma together. A healthy, vibrant Sangha is crucial for deepening our understanding and practice. Just as we benefit from the wisdom of the sutras individually, so too does the entire community benefit when we come together to listen, reflect, and share our experiences. Group Dharma practice fosters a sense of shared purpose and solidarity, reminding us that we are not walking the path alone. In Buddhist temples around the world, group sutra listening sessions are common, and there's a unique power in practicing together. The energy created in these group settings reinforces the teachings, amplifying the effect they have on each individual. It's as if the collective energy of the community enhances each person's experience, helping everyone stay grounded in the teachings. Whether you're attending a group chanting session or participating in a study group, the act of listening to the sutras in a group setting is a deeply enriching experience that strengthens both individual practice and communal ties. Looking at the broader picture, it's clear that listening to the sutras is not just about hearing words, it's about engaging deeply with the teachings and allowing them to shape our lives. It is through this practice that we come to understand the true nature of suffering, impermanence, and the path to liberation. Each time we listen to the Buddha's words, we deepen our understanding and bring ourselves closer to enlightenment. So, how can you ensure that listening to the sutras remains a central part of your life? Here are a few practical tips. Set aside time each day, even if it's just 15 minutes. Dedicate time each day to listen to a sutra, whether through a recording, a chant, or reading the text yourself. Consistency is key. Create a peaceful environment when listening to the sutras. Try to find a quiet, calm space where you can focus and fully absorb the teachings. Avoid distractions during this time. Reflect on what you've heard. After listening to a sutra, take a moment to reflect on the teachings. How can you apply them in your life? What insights have you gained? If possible, participate in group sutra listening sessions at your local temple or Dharma center. The communal practice will deepen your connection to the teachings and the community. To conclude, the practice of listening to the sutras is not just about gaining knowledge, it is about transforming our hearts and minds. Through consistent listening and reflection, we develop wisdom, compassion, and resilience, equipping ourselves to navigate the challenges of modern life with grace and understanding. Thank you for watching this video. If you have found value in today's discussion, or if you've experienced the benefits of sutra listening in your own life, I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comments below. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with others who may benefit from these teachings. Let's continue to grow together on this path of wisdom, compassion, and mindfulness. Thank you again for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.